CT side of map. Very, very even, but actually very slightly tilted towards CT. So, I don't know.
And it looks like Mythic, or excuse me, eLevate is going to take CT.
Well, there you have it.
And realistically, this is one of those maps almost, well, like Cash, maybe like Season, actually, where it's kind of even, you know. It really comes down to personnel, to matchups, and almost your comfort level. Do you feel more comfortable starting out on T side and being really aggressive? Do you feel more comfortable playing passively and starting out on CT side? As we see, we are kicking off the pistol round here in the best of 3. Chance at the CEVO LAN in Columbus. MLG Productions on hand to do it up nicely in April. It's on the line here.
Big B rush coming here, looks like.
Oh, yeah, they're set up to send one mid as well. I think that's Hades there, right behind the Xbox. But wisely, it looks like Elige has already moved to that mid position, so he's there to contest. It looks like Roka will be the one to try to stop this push if they smoked off his position, but they check close at the fence, and they take him out quickly with the Glock burst. Storm is able to find Hades in mid, but unfortunately they've surrendered the site, so they're going to have to wait for the rotate to get into tunnels. And already, you see, I think that's Flom moving up into tunnels to contest this rotate. There we do have Flom. He's going to step out, and there's actually 2 there. He's going to get overwhelmed. Rush and XP3 combining to take him out. There's still 2 on the outside. They come in. It's Anger picking up one with the pistol. Now it's down to a one-on-one. Anger against XP3. Anger's moved to the outside of the site. XP3 coming out swinging. And it's Anger with the 3K. No surprise to see him doing all kinds of damage on the pistol round. Doing it when he needed it most. So they do pick it up. It'll be 1-0 Mythic.
And Frost starting out really well in his CEVO debut on this team. Formerly Team Mythic, now Team Luminosity. So he's got to be pretty happy with that round too. Obviously, got to come out swinging.
Absolutely, a couple frags for Frost and 3 for Anger, and that was a solid strategy for Mythic and Luminosity. They had a little bit of misdirection in mid.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened there. Somehow eLevate lost the sight, even though they had 3 guys really on B. Whoa!
And already they're trying to get into the B site once again, and this pistol armor scout buy is paying off dividends for eLevate. They brought it down to just Frost. He's all on his lonesome. It looks like Mythic will get ecoed, and convincingly, Roka the only one to go down for eLevate. It's no surprise to see eLevate going with that pistol armor buy here on CT side Dust. And that's going to force the save by Mythic immediately, and that's exactly what you don't want to happen in the second round after winning pistol.
Yeah, they made a huge mistake there. Just kind of piling into the B tunnels was really a bit of a misstep. They needed to spread out, cover all their angles. They got kind of surprised from behind. They were completely surrounded. Should expect on a really aggressive push on a CT save round on a map like Dust 2. They definitely weren't ready for it. It's a pretty common strategy, and eLevate used it very effectively.
Yeah, and I was surprised that they decided to go at B.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to upgrade your guns, try to use some ranged weapons. As Elise with that AK, he finds no one actually coming out of mid. They were all flashed, but Storm is able to get the bomb carrier in mid, so they're basically going to have this sandwiched. Anger, though, able to do some damage with that pistol. Hades has got himself a kill as well, so pretty much a full-on win here for eLevate, but it looks like Mythic's done some decent damage. Dropped a couple of guns. Hades trying to go down with a fight, but Storm, was that a jumping AK shot?
I don't know what happened there. I was on Hades and I didn't even see the opponent, but apparently somehow stuck out and got hit.
And actually Mythic on the double save, and that's kind of typical. I mean, sometimes you can force it up if you're on T side, or if you do a good job in the second round, you all get some kills.
Yep.
But
get that bomb plant in the second round. Unfortunately, didn't work out that way.
Right, exactly. But they got ecoed in that second, so it immediately cripples their economy. They're forced on the double save unless they make something happen in the second. They didn't. So now eLevate looking to make this 3-1 after losing the pistol, and that's, man, a surprising start. XP3 going to peek quickly and find Anger, looking for a second. Fully flashed, both of them are. I think that was Flom with the flash from Cat. They're taking a little too slow to try to get up to A. The bomb is forced to back off. B is completely open, but they don't have that intel yet, as it looks like Hades is trying to slowly creep his way into the site, but the bomb is stranded over at Catwalk, so he's not going to be able to make it to B regardless. They've smoked him off, and Flom backing off towards the Catwalk. He's all in his lonesome with the bomb in his hand, and looking like a pretty quick mop-up round for eLevate. It's now 3-1. We'll get into a gun round proper. Onus is on Mythic to get it going now.
I'm a little bit concerned about, watching Mythic strategies here. I mean, or lack thereof, really. So far, they've tried a couple of slow B pushes, and then they just kind of ran around with no real aim in their eco rounds, and now hopefully on a rifle round we'll see a little bit more of a standard setup, and we do. We have 2 guys going over to the B tunnels, and the rest in a split, just watching out, trying to get picks, fanning out, and that's exactly what they needed to do so far. But whoa, XP3 picking up 1 already in the lower B tunnels on Hades, catches him by surprise, and 5 versus 4. This round is already in favor of eLevate.
Yeah, great start by eLevate, just going with a little bit of a boost. The bottom of the stairs on Catwalk, and of course XP3, as you said, Post was able to find Hades down in lower tunnels. Didn't even see that coming, basically walked right into the shot. And so already Mythic on the back foot. They could execute a mid to B here, as it looks like they're favoring towards Catwalk. There's 2 there for eLevate. It's going to be Rush, and of course, I believe that was Elige. But they immediately drop off and head towards Long. Looks like Mythic can't decide quite where they want to go. They've got 3 in middle, but they're slowly peeking out. They've got a smoke to work with, a couple actually, so they can
really
smoke off
use
CT,
that,
but that's immediately going to give away that they are going mid to B. So once they throw that, they're going to have to execute quickly, and Storm has stepped outside to behind those boxes. This is a pretty good position. If he plays it passively, he can usually pick up 1, maybe 2 from here. And Mythic has just been way too slow here.
Well, the flank
they can't decide what they want to do. Rush is there, finds the bomb carrier, and will finish off Frost. And it's almost a clean sweep again by eLevate in a gun round, only losing Elige. And I'm not sure what Mythic was doing there. They just kind of hit the brakes as soon as they got into mid and just couldn't commit to that mid to B, even though they had the smokes to work with it.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with Mythic. They're just falling apart. Even when they get an entry frag or 2, they don't make use of it. They just they mill around and in disorderly fashion, like a bunch of kids hanging out outside a mall.
No, they're loitering, basically, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly. This is exactly what they're doing.
And it looks like they are going to rush out Long on this save. They got a couple of smokes to work with, but Rush in the pit. Trying to deal with that Rush. He's got 2, but can't get the 3rd. It's Hades over the top into the pit, and Frost finds 1 over at the car. So 2 frags apiece. Nice response by Mythic on pretty much the full save here. Elige is going to move over to the car position. He's going to try to spray through the smoke. He does find that frag onto Frost. It's down to just Flom, all on his lonesome in the smoke. Elige will get 2 on the round to close it out. A little bit of economic damage for Mythic, some rebuys for eLevate, but another gun round.
Yeah. I mean, once again, it started off so well. They managed to finally get those kills. They were sticking together. They were rushing quickly, and then they ran out of steam. You know, they had the advantage. There was only 1 guy left on A playing at Goose, but they allowed him to rotate in. One of his teammates. Whoa! Flom with a huge headshot through the door at mid to start off the round.
Look what I found. That's what they need to really get back in this. And Flom continues the carnage, finds XP3, slow peeking at Long. Anger, feeling a little frothy, going to push up the catwalk. He's going straight at Elige, sees him at elevator, but smoked off, and Elige gets the headshot through the smoke. The Youngblood showing Anger, the wily veteran, how it's done. And that gives them at least 1 more closer to all even. But it was Flom opening the round up with those first 2 frags that really did it for him, as Lex will find Rush at that elevator position. Roka swoops in to take that spot, but Lex sees him from mid. Whoa. And just like that, the round is closed off. It's Flom closing the book after opening it. He gets the 3K on the round, and they'll find another op, so it'll be 2 in the hands of Mythic to go into this next round.
Folks, when you talk about the best offers in North America, there's a reason why the name Flom always comes up whenever there's a top 5 mentioned. And you just saw it that round. It's so hard to hit those shots that he was hitting, but he's definitely shaped up in the last round, and hopefully he continues that going into the next one. Oh, Frost this time getting 1 at mid.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Well, actually, the other one was a wallbang headshot, so not quite as sexy a frag, but still very nice. Great reaction time by Frost, showing why he is a legend with the AWP as well. And Flom actually off the board with his op. We didn't get to see that frag. But now it is all
pushed
even.
Right out aggressively through long A doors. It was a little bit of a misstep of him, totally alone, and he got trapped with 2 opponents in front of him. So he went down, and that evens things out in the round.
He was probably just feeling the aggro from the previous round, wanted to continue it, and unfortunately just didn't work out for him. But of course, Frost opening up the round. You see they set up for the mid to B, but this is common at the pro level. It's just kind of a misdirection. you know, and it looks like eLevate's not biting on it much. They're going up catwalk instead. Pretty typical. As Elise is going to step out from sight. And there's the bane of the Silence M4, forced to reload after taking out that first player, although he spotted a second. Oh, what a headshot. Finds Lex looking for the second. Anger brings him down to half health. As Anger going to swap out for the AK. He's stranded on catwalk by himself with the bomb. 2 on either side of him. Although XP3, rare miss for him, does not connect on the op. Gives Anger a little bit of a chance here, but it's Elige closing the distance from Cat. Good communication. eLevate getting back on the board after surrendering that previous gun round.
So now it's Elige's turn. I've noticed that eLevate so far this game have been rotating the role of carry, and basically every round is won by 1 or 2 players, just playing phenomenally and doing exactly what they need to do. So eLevate, just their whole team is playing up to par so far this game.
Yeah, that was very nicely done by eLevate. Patience in both of their positions. You know, early frags going out, but then basically the 2-2 split. Kind of gave up middle. Didn't bite on the mid to B, and then, you know, handled that push into the A site from Cat quite well, largely off of Elige, like you said, and it has been kind of just individual round performances for eLevate so far. As Elige continues from the previous round, he'll find Frost with a little bit of a tap-tap-a-roo through mid doors, but Lex will answer right back with a Tech 9. And this is pretty much, well, it's very strange. They're basically just going with the op on Flom. Yeah. And then armor Tech 9s for the rest of them. They're trying to get into the B site, and they actually have. They picked up the frag onto Elige. They've got the door smoked, and the bomb will get planted default with Flom with that op in great position to cover it from tunnels. But now that smoke will actually cut off the tunnel shot, so Flom is not in as good a position now if they act on this. Storm comes through. He's the only one left. Will be taken out quickly by Anger, and Mythic answers right back. But eLevate should have enough money to rebuy here. Yes, they still have plenty of cash. So it'll be up to Mythic to try to string another round together here to potentially get eLevate on Eco.
Yeah, that's the kind of really solid teamwork that you need to see from Mythic if they want to stand a chance of winning this best of 3, especially against a team as strong as eLevate. Definitely, you know, you lost the first guy, but you didn't lose your momentum. As soon as Frost went down, they picked up that op, and they just kept going, and that's what they need to do in the rest of this game. It's what they haven't done so far, but they finally did it in that round. Hades picking up the first kill on XP3 so far, giving his team the man advantage.
But it looks like one was trying to go at Elige over at the A site and thinking otherwise, backing off at Cat. Definitely stacked towards the B site right now, and there's only 2 defenders there for eLevate, 1 in sight, 1 out in mid. I think that's a Storm to contest with the potential mid to B. It looks like they're setting up for that. I think it could be Lex. No, actually they're moving up catwalk. As you have Lex and Lex and Hades both there. And it will be Elige playing that same position he's been playing in the center of A site, just waiting for someone to expose themselves at catwalk. But you could see they're trying to counter that position by just putting out a wall of smoke that they can go around to get a better angle on him. But the execute will come to mid, and it'll be Roka picking up a frag, as does Storm, stopping Mythic right in their tracks. But the misdirection has worked. They've drawn the rotate out of the B site. The bomb is going to have to work fast. They're going to have to get in and get it planted, as eLevate has realized their mistake now. They do have the man advantage, and Flom is extremely wounded, but the bomb is now planted, and it's going to be 2 ops defending it. Frost finds one. It's Elige, but now he's all on his lonesome, and they're flanking from tunnels, misses the second shot, and it will be Rush cleaning up the garbage to win that retake. Very nicely done by eLevate, as Mythic just expended a bit too many resources getting that bomb planted. They were down to just 2 guys at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the misdirection definitely worked, like you mentioned, but I think maybe putting 2 guys on mid, you did have all those smokes and flashes, so the misdirection was definitely there. I don't think they needed to give up that 3rd player by having him die at mid. They definitely could have sold it just as easily with 2, and then they would have had that additional player on bomb site B to defend the bomb, which would have been huge because it's so hard to defend that close range combat with 2 ops. Having a rifler there in addition to that would have been big news for them.
I kind of like their initial idea of like that little cat smoke to kind of get around and get a better angle onto Elige, but they didn't really commit to it. They went back towards B, as you see. Mythic's economic woes continue. They're forced to save in this round. Roka fully flashed, but he still finds the bomb carrier through the smoke. He's a magician. And Storm stepping in to relieve him after he does go down, and they find the bomb carrier. So now on the rotate, it's Rush, looking to find the final two. Although it looks like Lex has made his way into the site. Doesn't really matter when the bomb is down in mid and the CTs are right on top of it, excuse me. And they just have a couple of pistols. Plenty of time to work with, but they're going to have to be pretty coordinated and a little bit lucky here to pick up a frag. Lex lurking right outside of double doors at B. And Storm ever so patiently just waiting for him to step out to his doom.
Oh, man, it's a Mexican standoff here at the double doors of B. And down goes Lex as he finally peeks.
Hopefully we don't get muted for that. And yeah, it will be Lex. Just couldn't be patient. Storm, wait. I mean, he's got the gun advantage and the bomb. I mean, really, it's up to Lex to peek. So perfectly played by Storm. They do close the round out. And Mythic will be able to rebuy. Luckily for them, eLevate's not too banked up. And, man, they need to get something going here. It's getting late in this half.
Exactly. They're completely being shut out. Now, this was actually Mythic's map pick, Luminosity's map pick, so they were obviously hoping to do better than they have so far. eLevate did pick CT, though, so it could be that we're going to see a lot better play out of Mythic when they get onto CT. Whoa, Rush with a nice boosted headshot. Frost getting Storm, though, at mid, and
look at this, the bomb is rushing straight up Cat. And it looks like they're going to get onto the A side, actually. Meanwhile, Anger in the lurk in middle, making sure that no one can come up catwalk, as his teammates are both going to play at the Goose. And it looks like two CTs are coming through CT spawn. Meanwhile, one still at B, waiting for the lurk. I mean, realistically, XP3 probably just wants to hang on to that op.
Yeah.
As it looks like Roka and Rush are actually trying to save their guns as well. Although Roka's not in a great position. He is able to use this smoke to back off. And there, look at Rush. Good teamwork. They're going to drop a smoke for his teammate to escape safely so they can hang on to these guns. And that's very important because you take a look at their cash. Although they're not broke, they're not really flush with cash either. So they want to try to keep an economic advantage over Mythic that they've had for most of this game. So solid job by eLevate in the final three to save, but even better by Mythic to pick up the round.
Sure, and the economic advantage you mentioned has more or less basically disappeared now. It's a good thing for eLevate that they managed to keep those guns, because otherwise they would actually be pretty short on cash. If they lose this round, then I'm not sure they're even going to be able to buy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're not going to be able to get any kind of losing bonus because they've been on quite a rolling. Have really surrendered just one-offs, maybe two in a row to Mythic. But a lot of those rounds have been close, so they haven't really banked up while winning those rounds. As we see Mythic opening up the round once again. It'll be Lex, but Elige answers right back. He's not playing plat this time. He's actually playing towards long. So kind of out of position, and Mythic has taken advantage of this. It's the second round in a row that they've gone fast Cat, and it's paid off for them. They're going to plant for Cat, and they've already got two in position to defend it. This is a great setup for Mythic in this round.
Absolutely. Rush is still absolutely convinced that there's going to be one coming out long. He's eventually going to give that up, I think, and yes, he does.
Give up the ghost, Rush. And it's Flom doing work, playing aggressive in the post-plan setup on Catwalk as Rush is trying to come across from ramp, and he will get taken out. So Mythic getting two in a row, and like you said, doing some significant economic damage to eLevate. They could probably force it up if they want. We'll see if they decide to.
It's going to be a really rough buy if they do, and they are going to. Storm, I don't think, can afford really anything. He's going to be going with just a pistol and hope to pick up a gun. But, wow, I mean, Mythic, they're playing like they just got a B-12 shot. Man, at the beginning of this game, we're starting to look a little nervous. But now they're playing a lot more decisively. It's like they've got their strategies going. I mean, this is a team, they haven't played together too much. They've got a brand new member of the roster. So there's going to be an adjustment period. And unfortunately for them, it's coming at the end of the online playoffs.
Yeah, indeed. As Elige getting a little aggressive that round. On the light by with the FAMAS, comes straight up Cat, and you see Mythic has read that to a T. It's going to be Frost finding two from top of mid before ultimately going down to XP3, and there's three in lower tunnels. Goodness gracious, now things have flipped completely as it's Mythic seeming to read eLevate to a T. Although XP3 does find Hades there in mid. Didn't see that one coming. It's down to a 1-on-2, but they have the intel on where the final CT is. Bomb planted at the B site safely for tunnels, and Lex with a quick peek from window puts XP3 to bed. And Mythic has really come storming back in this half.
eLevate really needed that round, or at the very least they needed to get a bunch of kills, because now the economic situation is not looking good for them at all. They're going to buy anyway. I guess it's just buy every round coming out from
last
eLevate.
round. You got to go with
Oh, man, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
So
it snuck
far
up
into
on
this
us.
game. 8-6. Okay, so eLevate made a very risky move buying that heavily in the second to last round. A lot of teams would have just gone for the last round win, and now they're in a situation where they're probably, unless they can pull out some serious eco round strats here. Oh, speaking
they
of
were,
which,
they were playing
Elise
for the
getting a
10-5.
headshot on Anger.
But these guys are so lethal with those upgraded pistols, especially if they have some nades to work with, a flash, a nade, even a smoke just to kind of hide behind to get up close. You see Elise doing quite well there. XP3 getting a frag as well, but not without a significant amount of damage. He's down to 9 HP, and look at XP3. He's going to hand off that weapon to Storm. That's a very savvy play. Obviously, he's on death's door. Just going to rock the USP and hope that Storm can put that weapon to good use.
Yeah, that's a really smart move. A lot of teams, they won't think of that in the teamwork department. But here comes a mid rush. Lex coming in first. Storm is there waiting.
He's
Lex
the one
is
with
gonna
the
think better
M4
of
in
that.
perfect position. He will back off, joins his teammate, and it looks like now they're going to try to move up Cat. As that's great thinking. Flom has moved his way into pit, so he's going to take that player out. It's actually going to be Frost from Catwalk. He drops Rush on sight, and Elise is stranded at CT spawn. Horrible position to be in. Flom will shoot him in the spine.
Oh, man.
Make short work of that. They'll smoke off CT spawn, so Mythic should be able to close out this round and make it 8-7, unless XP3 with his deagle can work some magic here.
That round was just amazing play by Mythic. As XP3 trying to find a target can't, because they're all undercover, doing a good job of staying undercover. But the misdirection once more at mid. Lex completely sold the mid and forced Elise to come down through CT and try to defend it. And then Elise was stuck in the worst position possible down there
he was
on
down
the
in
elevator.
CT spawn and lost his support because they took out Storm, who had the only gun, and they smoked it off as well, so he wasn't really in a position to pick up the gun.
Yeah, no, Elige was in big trouble there. He needed to land a headshot or two on Catwalk, but like I mentioned, Team Mythic doing a great job of staying undercover up there.
And what was essentially a very sluggish start for Mythic now, obviously Luminosity. We call him Mythic just because that's what's on the scoreboard, but
That's
of course
what's
they
on the
are under
screen,
the new
folks.
board. But I mean, they started very sluggishly, and it looked like this half could get away from them on their map pick, and they have come back in a big way to make it 8-7. They will go on CT side now and hopefully shore up the defense and close this map out. But eLevate, if they could pick up this pistol, they can start to make some distance, because this is one of those maps that it's pretty even, and eLevate has some great CT side or T side strats, and it'll be interesting to see what they do here on the pistol. Keep
in mind, though, eLevate did choose CT side, so likely they do feel they are a bit stronger, at least against Team Luminosity on CT side on this map. So anything could happen here. I mean, this is exactly the end to the first half of the first match that I wanted. I think we're in for a lucky night
barn
here,
burner.
a big long night. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure eLevate was hoping for a 9-6, maybe a 10. They obviously played for the 10-5 with that 14th round bye.
Exactly.
But look at this, Anger and Flom. No surprise to see Anger doing serious damage in the pistol round. Once again, a little over-aggressive there, looking for the third frag. Leaves Flom on his lonesome, but the bomb was down, so you can afford to be a little bit aggressive as your teammates are going to be on the rotate. It will be Hades finishing off one, but Rush answers right back and gets two quick Glock headshots from distance, and he actually finds the bomb. So Rush, he's got a 3K, looking to find the ace, finds Frost at long and gets the headshot to bring it to a one-on-one, and Rush is on the ace hunt. He's going to swap out for that USP. So great from distance. It's a headshot machine. As Lex has an HE to work with, and Rush, he's got a decoy, but he's got a silenced gun, so that decoy is not really going to help you in this instance. So now it's going to be a cat and mouse game, but look at this, 45 seconds on the clock, and they're on a collision course, going long. Oh, man, I love these moments in Counter-Strike. You see him creeping out, and Lex is in perfect position to counter it. Finds Rush, brings him down to 11 HP, and he finishes him off to clutch the round for his team. Sorely needed for Mythic. It's a motivational boost to carry the momentum from the previous half.
Wow, Rush missed the headshot with that USP by millimeters. It's ridiculous to think that their entire... depending on how the rest of this game goes, their entire run in the playoffs might have just been ended. I mean, it might be an over-exaggeration to say this early, but by millimeters.
It's the butterfly effect, right? Exactly. Just the smallest of things can cause a cascade of events to follow, which just ultimately unravels everything. But hey, we saw eLevate pull off the eco in the first half. Perhaps they could do it here in the second. Although no surprise to see Mythic playing a lot more passively, after succumbing to that eco in the first half. They don't want to let the same thing happen here, as it's an extremely close game. It's going to be a fast cat and rush. Picks up the first frag onto Flom from distance, and Roka gets it second. It's a perfect entry on the save into the site. They didn't even invest in armor, and they've already taken out 2 guns of Mythic. What a start for eLevate in this round. Anchor's close, though, but will be found out by Elige, as it's Frost getting 2 in a row to try to even the odds here. Lex is on catwalk behind, but he'll get taken out by Elige. Wow. And just like that, eLevate picks up their second eco, and just mirroring what they did in the first half.
That, my friends, is how you eco your opponents. Obviously, eLevate has some serious eco strats that they've thought out. Doing an amazing job of both staying together but not lining up for their opponents as well. It's important to do that. When you're rushing, a lot of teams will fall into the trap of just lining up, and it's easy to get 1 or 2 kills, possibly even 3 kills on a spray down all at once. But they spread out just enough to both get the revenge kill but not bunch up and give Mythic easy targets. So Mythic ultimately missed all their shots, and eLevate picked up the round.
Yeah, that just came down to a matter of execution, because it was... Oh, the touchdown from Roka! Comes raining down onto Hades, and they'll move into the A site quite easily, and it'll just be
the intel just gathered by Storm. He knows exactly where the entire team has gone.
Yeah, on the lurk. They're in B tunnels, and he's on an impressive flank here. Should be able to find one, and he finds Frost on catwalk. XP3 will step up at long to get another, and they're just going to go hunting for the final one. That's Flom in top mid, but yeah, that last round, just a thing of beauty. And it wasn't like Mythic made a mistake. I mean, like I commented, they played passively. They didn't want to rush and make the mistake they did in the first half and play into the hands of the eco. It's just that eLevate hit their shots. They hit 2 perfect entries. Taking out those 2 guns, got onto the site. I mean, ultimately Frost did his work and got a couple more to try to even the odds. But, man, eLevate, when they're hitting their shots, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, exactly. And they have been. So far in this half, minus the first round. But even then, I mean, it was really close. So Mythic, again, on a full save here. Just a couple of upgraded pistols on this side.
They guessed right this time, though. They've stacked 3 in the B site and actually have 1 at mid doors to contest a mid to B, a split. So they are in position to contest this. Lex will step out with a 5-7. Only gets 1, though, as it looks like Anger is the only one in position to contest the plant. They know exactly where he's at now. Roka having a little bit of trouble finding the planting area. A little awkward there. He will get the bomb down. They smoke off double doors. It's up to Hades and Anger to try to make something happen, but realistically, probably going to rotate to maybe tunnel to try to find an exit kill, or even all the way to T-spawn. It looks like Anger may just back off and hang on to this 5-7. Not necessarily a bad idea, because realistically, not a lot of hope for them in this round as eLevate coming storming back. I mean, Mythic started off perfectly, like, winning the pistol, but you can't give up those ecos.
Yeah, absolutely. They did not do a good job of covering each other during that eco rush. I'm not sure if they were just not expecting to have eLevate come out so aggressively during an eco. I mean, we saw even during the eco, anti-eco in the other half, when Mythic had the opportunity, they played very slowly, very passively. So perhaps they just didn't expect eLevate to do exactly the opposite and do it very well. And that's, unfortunately for Mythic, that's what eLevate did there. Mythic was caught out of position, and eLevate picking up another round here, but finally we have ops coming out on both sides. A double op setup by Mythic. They're hoping to lock this round up, because that is a really expensive buy.
Yeah, they're definitely going all in on this round, trying to start their comeback in this map right here, right now, in the 20th round, because they will be saving again, more than likely, if they don't pick this up. And meanwhile, on the flip side, eLevate doing quite well in the economic department. Frost sees the tippy top of XP3's head, and Flom finds one at long. So very nicely done. Flom is still in pit. Roka's, actually, that's Hades. Roka's going to come out and does connect on the spray down, but Flom, excellent trade out. Good timing. So now they're going to back off and try to cover the catwalk areas. That's where they've got the latest intel where the bomb is at. They've got map control, do Mythic, and the 2-man advantage. So great start to this round, as it looks like Rush and Storm are going to try to work up catwalk and see if they can make something of nothing here with about 40 seconds on the clock. And there is that smoke.
Taking a little while to pop.
Yeah, that's that wall smoke that we saw Mythic try to employ so that they can... Look at this! They're stringing together smoke so they can get up catwalk and find an angle onto Anger, who is at the center of the site. Of course, that allows them to get past no man's land, but ultimately Anger and Flom holding their ground quite nicely, being patient, waiting for them to come out from behind that wall of smoke and getting the frags.
I'm not sure what exactly they're hoping for there with those smokes.
We'll call that the worm.
They're pretty expensive to throw. I mean, they just threw away $600 there with those smokes, and that's nothing to sneeze at because, as you can see, their money situation is not good. The first gun round, really, of the half going to Mythic, and now they've kept their 2 ops, and they're going to need him at this fast rush comes out from eLevate once more.
Well, Anger and Hades, though, combining to get 2, but there's still one more lurking in the smoke. It's Roka. Oh, and he's going to step out and get the 1-tap onto Hades. Very nicely done. Giving them the main advantage, but they're being a little slow here, and if Mythic is able to rotate... Nope, Lex gets caught by Storm in mid, so it's down to just Frost, and he'll probably want to hang on to this op. As actually, it looks like he might want to make a play here. Tries to catch one on the cross, cannot connect, as he knows there's another one in mid at Catwalk, and Storm is playing this quite well, very passively, just waiting for Frost to expose himself, sees him, and takes him down quickly with the AK. So eLevate getting to 12, and Mythic light on cash should probably save, but they could force it up if they want to forgo the op here.
eLevate once more, just sticking together, making sure the trade-outs always go in their favor. And they've been really good at that this game. It takes a lot of teamwork. It takes a tremendous amount of aim, frankly. And they're on point with their aim so far this game. So they can do risky strats like just, hey, let's all just rush long. Even when there's 3 CTs stacking long, really Mythic should have come out the victors during that fight.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree on that. And like we said, they heavily invested in that round. Kind of going all in and trying to make their comeback right then and there with that double op setup, and it's just not working out for them. And it makes you wonder, if that's not going to work, what will for them here on their map pick, as they are set up well with the crossfire to contest. They only have pistols, so Anger only able to get one before quickly trade out. But Flom, who dropped into CT spawn, he finds a second, so that's a decent start to this eco round. But they've smoked off, not a perfect smoke. They're going with the mid to B, and if Flom forces the issue, he might find a second here. He does find a gun, as it looks like Hades might find one as well. It looks like they're going to go for it. And realistically, they kind of need to. It's all about rounds at this point, not necessarily money. Roka will finish on Flom, and now Hades pretty much just has to hang on to this AK.
Flom did so much damage there to Roka. It's a little bit astonishing that Roka managed to survive. I think a lot of the shots went through the wall, and Roka did a good job of staying kind of half behind that wall. When you're peeking the window there are some pieces of wall that jut out that can save your life, and Roka used those to his advantage. So another round going to eLevate, 13-9 now. Things are looking very difficult for Luminosity.
And eLevate has done just by sheer luck, really, has kept Mythic's economy in check, simply because neither of them has really strung together rounds. So Mythic couldn't count on a losing bonus. So pretty much they win a round, maybe even 2, then lose one, maybe lose another, and then forced to rebuy. And of course, we've seen another double op setup here. No
Very
surprise, they pretty
buys
much have to
coming
go
from
all
Mythic.
in at this point.
Exactly.
But what it's going to do is, if they lose this, they're going to be broke and in really no condition to contest that tie round, that 15th round. As Roka will pick up the initial frag onto Flom, and look at this aggression up Cat. It's Hades and Anger, but they're smoked off. As they've gotten the information, Roka realizes it's open long, and they're all following suit. This is a great read by eLevate, but there is a sliver. Can Frost connect? No, it looks like Roka's going to find a frag on Anger, but Frost, just as he's about to take a shot, they smoke it off. It's like eLevate realized that sliver was there, and they made short work of it. So this round looking like it's going to go pretty convincingly to eLevate. They've got a 2-man advantage. Bomb is planted. Only XP3 wounded.
eLevate's done a great job of that. They realize when they have a vulnerability, when they have an opening, and they do something to compensate. They did that last round as well. When they smoked mid, as you mentioned, it wasn't a perfect smoke, so they made sure to flash it as well before going for the mid to B take, and that enabled them to do it rather safely, and they didn't end up losing any of their teammates as a result. So they obviously have tremendous game sense to be able to see those openings.
And communication as well. I mean,
exactly,
these guys could probably tell when they've missed a smoke. And then to communicate that to your teammate, to realize that there is a vulnerability in your strat is huge for your team. And you got to think that eLevate right now is really clicking on all cylinders in that department.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like, unless Mythic pulls out some kind of miracle plays here in the last few rounds, we looks like we're going to be going into the next game with a 1-0 eLevate. This is, of course, a best-of-3 Mirage coming up after this map.
And it will be eLevate's pick. So Mythic will get side choice, which, more than likely they'll take CT. But you got to think eLevate picking Mirage and knowing they'll have to take T side has plenty in their playbook. And, of course, Mirage is something that really allows for that. As Frost will get the first frag onto eLevate, he's going to have to deal with this rush. He's doing quite well. Finds 3 in a row. Will he get a 4th? He's looking for it. He's looking for it. But there's no one there to get targeted. Frost will be relegated to just 3 frags, but
wow,
Mythic making a stand.
Ridiculously aggressive off play by Frost. That takes serious balls and serious skill, and he has both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he knew the rush was coming, had to hit the shots, no margin for error there, and XP3, no surprise. Tuck tail and run, try to hang on to this op, as it looks like they're on the hunt. Anger in great position. But Frost steals the frag. He opened up the round. Only appropriate that he closes it.
Wow, Frost is coming out swinging. What an addition to this team. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about what's going to happen to this team now that Frost's a brand new guy coming in. A lot of people were really counting on Desi to pull off some amazing things when he was kind of a stand-in for Team Mythic in the last week or two. But Frost, I think, is fitting in just fine.
Absolutely, and it's something that will take a little bit of time for them to find that perfect timing, that clairvoyance, realistically, where they know what each other is doing. But the talent is there, and rest assured that these guys will work at it. But Flom, here we go in this round, opening things up as Mythic. They're starting to find their stride here. They did something similar in the first half, where they struggled in the early goings and then came back strong in the second half, or the second portion of the first half, to make it 8-7. Could they do it again here? I mean, eLevate. They haven't won it yet, and if Mythic keeps this up, you take a look at the economy, that's pretty good for eLevate. They should be able to rebound one more time, but baby steps, one round at a time. Oh, Flom can't thread the needle there, has to back off, gives away his position, and it's eLevate taking position on Cat. The remaining 3 terrorists are in mid, and it looks like they... Whoa! Anger finding... Looks like that's Storm in mid. So now a 3-man advantage. As Anger will close... No, that's Hades closing out the round. Looks like he came on the flank from long to pick up 2. And that's what Mythic really needed, a convincing round when they only lost Frost. So that's going to help their economy for the road ahead.
Absolutely. Just like that. This always happens to me. I start to discount a team's chances, and they get right back into it. Now Mythic has made this a competitive match again. This is going to be the last buy round, and it's not a full buy. XP3 couldn't afford a gun. So eLevate, if they lose this round, it's going to be probably 14-13, and then it's really anybody's game. So Mythic obviously looking for really careful play here. They need to make sure the trade-outs go in their favor.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things that, does eLevate start getting worried? Do they get nervous? Are we doing the same thing we did in the first half? We started so great, now things are slowly but surely falling apart. That's a pretty good nade from Flom. Does about half damage to eLevate and backs off of Cat, and he got the information that there's at least one there by connecting.
Flom is playing really smart on Cat, not giving them any targets, but doing enough damage that it's worth the aggressive play that he starts out doing.
Yeah, it's that aggro op that we see so many great AWPers employ. You have to be careful with it. It's very tactical. It's going to be a push-up. Cat, and over the top is eLevate. Anger meets him with a rain full of bullets, and it's Flom who finds Rush. Coming up catwalk, jumps over the top, and the bomb carrier. Flom on point with the AWP. Roka, last one standing, going for the touchdown nade. He doesn't do too much. Flom down to 38 HP. Will he close out the round? He does with the pistol. It's Flom coming up big in that round with the 3K.
What in the world happened to Flom and Frost? All of a sudden, these guys are landing all their shots. They're playing amazing with the aggro off that you mentioned. Now that these ops are solidly in the hands of Flom and Frost, even if they lose a round, they're going to have enough money to buy another one each. And they're really hitting all their shots with them. I don't know. I mean, this is really turning into Mythic's game to lose. All the momentum's in their favor. Now we have an eco round on eLevate.
Yeah, you called it. That was eLevate's last round. And of course, XP3 didn't even have a gun in his hand. But at the same time, we've seen eLevate make something happen on the saves. Now, granted, it was the second round. It wasn't like a full buy. Certainly not a double op setup for Mythic. As it looks like this time it's going to be a B rush and be Lex and Hades making short work of it. Through the smoke, Lex will find the final frag, and that's exactly what Mythic needed to do in that round. Clean it up quickly, not losing any guns, banking up. Over 10K is Lex and Flom. But realistically, they don't want to surrender any more rounds.
This match is making me regret the Big Mac I had for lunch because I'm gonna have a heart attack. I swear to God, this is
You're gonna have a
this
pulmonary.
match it's just seesawing all over the place, and I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm not even gonna try to predict anything. I'm just gonna watch and enjoy because this is an incredible match.
That's a great
Whoa,
flash
Roka.
from Roka, and the shot on the anger connects. His two teammates will back off from long. Mythic was fully committed to the long rush as they'll boost back up onto the site as they suspect it's going to be a long take. And they would be right as there's 4 there. But they're just going to get the AWP here. That's XP3 in pit. Typical strat there. And then they'll send the bomb with 2 players up mid. But look at Mythic. This is a good read. They're contesting in mid. 1 behind Xbox and 1 up Cat. And we'll see what happens here with about a minute on the clock as it looks like eLevate. They may have read that right back as
Yeah,
they're
they
approaching back
counter-read,
towards long.
exactly.
Two teams really just in sync right now, kind of reading into what each other's trying to do. Is Hades spraying through the smoke. He's full blind. He will get a headshot onto Elise, but there's no one on the site, and they're going to have to concede it. The bomb will get planted, but Hades is still in CT spawn lurking, waiting for his teammates to rotate. He really can't do anything until they arrive. Lex has made his way up. Cat bomb is planted in the center of the site. Man advantage for eLevate. Trying to get to that important 15th round. Will Mythic keep the momentum going as Lex is able to get 1 in a second at Goose? Huge retake frags by Lex, and it's down to just Storm stranded at Catwalk. It's not planted for him. And Hades will commit to the defuse. It doesn't look like he's in position to contest that. Frost will finish off the round, and that was all Lex. All Lex coming into the site.
What an incredible team effort. While Lex was moving in, perfect timing, because Hades was actually jumping up and down, giving them something to look at, basically, is all Hades was doing. He's not going to land his shots with an M4A1, trying to jump from CT spawn there and try to hit the guys on Goose. But what he did do is completely distract them. While Lex came around the corner, he used his teammate perfectly, and for the rest of the round, it was just everybody covering everybody, making sure you have everything watched, and everybody landed their shots. Amazing round by Mythic, just a complete team effort by them, and Lex especially.
And this is an example of a team that absolutely thrives under pressure. It's a round-by-round game, but luckily eLevate riding that losing bonus, able to rebuy, but that forward position by Hades did not pay off, and it's a Liege. He's answering Lex, says, I can do just the same, but Flom, with that aggressive AWP, is able to drop the bomb carrier, so he's going to get that intel for his teammates to rotate, which is huge, given that they're at a man disadvantage right now. Look at Roka on the lurk. Flom did not see that one coming, and poor Frost is stranded down in CT spawn. Horrible position for him to be in as they've got control of the site. Tries the quick peek onto Roka, and he started the round. He finished it again as eLevate gets the all-important 15th after several in a row for Mythic. But luckily for them, plenty of cash to rebuy as they're looking to get to overtime. What a game, folks.
Wow, yeah, it doesn't get any better than this. Mythic, I can't believe they managed to get themselves right back into things, but eLevate still countering with their own great plays, and now we're on match point for eLevate. Mythic needs this one to stay in this match, the first of the best of 3, folks.
And this is their map pick, so absolutely they want to take this to feel confident going into their opponent's pick, Mirage Map 2. And, of course, so random, that nuke tiebreaker, because you never know what's going to happen in a knife round. I mean, Mythic, they've beaten Cloud9 on Nuke, so they are certainly no strangers to performing well on that map, but you never want to leave it up to chance. You want to try to pick this match up in 2, so it's got to start here with this round. They've got to pick it up to get to overtime in hopes of winning this.
Yeah, especially when you're the heavy favorites like eLevate. And it looks like here comes the fast B rush. It's going to be down to Lex.
As Frost actually finds one in mid, he's dropping out the molly. He is stranded in no man's land in the center of Plat. As eLevate gets the entry and Roka finds Frost on the rotate, and this is not looking good for Mythic. They're down 1 man. Down 2 men as Roka finds a second on the Anger into window. Such a hard retake onto the B site. Bomb is planted. What a peek by Flom! Trying to even the odds here. Brings it to just a 1-man advantage for eLevate. They got to go for it, folks. It is the final round of the half. They're trying to get to overtime. Mythic comes storming in. Flom swapped out for the AK. eLevate finds the final player. He gets 2 more. It's a 3K for eLevate, and eLevate wins 16-14 on Mythic.